Hey guys, so in this tutorial we are going to learn how to create a neumorphism button in Flutter, which is a 3D glowing button in Flutter. So let's get started. So you can see over here a demo app. So when I press on this button, you can see there is a neumorphism effect been applied to this container, and it looks like you are pressing a button with some shadow effect been applied to this, and it looks like a new neumorphism. So in this tutorial, we are going to learn how to design this button. So let's get started. So now we are in our Android Studio IDE. In my Flutter project, I have created a container widget at the center of our screen, and I have colored it to a dark color, as you can see over here. And here I have just declared few variables, that is color variables that I can use in my project. And here I have just declared a variable that is a boolean type, true or false, just to detect if when the button is been pressed or when the button is not pressed. Okay, so now I want to give a neumorphism effect to this button, so let's get started. So for this, first of all, let's give a border radius to this container. So for that, here in the decoration over here, I can make use of border radius and border radius dot circular, and I can just give one size to set a radius to this container, so you can see. Yeah, okay, so next thing is we need to give a shadow effect. So here I want a white color and here I want a black color effect, so that it can look like a 3D effect. So for this we can make use of a property in this box decoration, that is borders box shadow. Okay, so box shadow we can make use of. Okay, so this will accept two parameters or array of parameters by which you can just give 3D effects to our container. So here box decoration, box shadow color. Okay, so colors dot white. Okay, so here I want border shadow as white. So now if I refresh, so you can see it is not showing anything because I have not set the offset parameter. So I want to also set a offset parameter to it. I will just set it to -3 comma -3, and let's give a border radius as 10. Okay, so we have just not give these two parameters, so it was not getting affected. And here spread radius, let's give as 3.0. Okay, so let's refresh and check. Okay, so now you can see I have white borders been applied. So I want to change this to black, some black effect. So what I will do is I will just copy this and create one more uh, box shadow at the bottom of this. So here color I can just give a black color, or I can just make use of this parameter that I have created and keep it over here. And now I want this black color to be affected at the bottom side. So I will just change this offset to 3 by 3, and let's the radius be 10 and the spread radius be 3. Okay, so you can see there is a dropping shadow for this. So now I want to give a gradient effect for this button so that it look like highlighted. So for that I can make use of gradient property of this box decoration. So here somewhere over here I can make use of gradient. So gradient, and I will just use linear gradient. So here in the linear gradient you must declare from where it should begin and where it should end. So these are the two mandatory or required property. So beginning property, alignment dot top left. Okay, so you can just define anything as per your needs. So I will just begin the gradient effect from this point and end it at the bottom. So alignment dot bottom right, and then we must declare provide the colors effects to this. So here I will just pass one color as light color and dark color. Okay, so let's check. So you can see this effect has been shown. Okay, so this is the fixed gradient effect. So when I press on this button, I want to switch, or it should look like I'm just pressing on this button. So for that I can make use of this variable and detect when the user has pressed on this button. So for this to detect if the button is been pressed or no, what I can do is I will just wrap this container widget with a widget called as gesture detector. So gesture detector, so in this gesture detector we can make use of different properties like pressed up, pressed down. So I'm going to make use of this press up, top top up and top down, sorry. Okay, so these are the two methods or functions that we are going to make use of on tap down. And now here when the button is been pressed, I want to switch between the parameters that if it is pressed, then I want to make it true, and if it is pressed down, then I want to make it false. So is equal to true is equal to false. Okay, so if it is pressed, then it is true, and if it is left, means if it is the click has been stopped, then it is unpressed. Okay, so these are the parameters. I am just changing it, and now over here, shadow, box shadow, over here, what I will do is I will just make use of is pressed. So if it is pressed, then show nothing, else show this shadow effect. So let's check if it is working or not. So it is not working because I need to wrap this widget with this changes with set state. So the same thing for this, set state is pressed like this. Okay, so now you can see like this it is happening. Okay, so now with this effect I want to also change the gradient color when it is been pressed. So what I can do is I can just do it over here in this color property. So I will just remove this is pressed. If it is pressed, then show a light color, and if it is not pressed, then show a dark color. Okay, and the second is pressed, dark color, else light color. So now let's refresh and check. Okay, so now you can see the gradient effect has been applied over here. So when I press, you can see the gradient effect is also getting changed. Okay, so now you can see there is no animation, means when I press it is just changing the effects. Okay, so I want to just give a milliseconds animation effect to this container. So what I can do is instead of using this normal container, I can make use of animation container. Okay, so like this animated container, I can just use animated container, and with this I can just give a duration for this container. So duration I will just set a millisecond of 50. Okay, so let's refresh and check. So you can see, so that is a slight animation effect. So let me show you by increasing the size duration. So you can see now that is a slight animation effects been applied to this new neumorphism button. Okay, so that's all for this video tutorial. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe. Protocol Point. Thank you.